Big meeting this morning at the White House. Actually, it's going to take place later on in the afternoon. So the incoming Senate Majority Leader will sit down with President Obama to discuss whether the parties can get together and do some work to move the country forward. But Senator McConnell already saying that he's confused by the president's actions since the GOP midterm triumph.
We don't have any personal problems. There is, however, a deep philosophical difference. By any objective standard, the president got crushed in this election. So I've been perplexed by the reaction since the election, a sort of in-your-face dramatic move to the left. So I don't know what we can expect in terms of reaching bipartisan agreements. That's my first choice, to look for the things that we actually agree on, if there are any.
If there are any. Former South Carolina Republican Senator Jim DeMint is the president of the Heritage Foundation, and he joins me now. Good morning, sir. Good to have you with us.
Good morning, Martha.
Good morning. So what do you expect out of this meeting with Mitch McConnell and the president today?
Well, unfortunately, Martha, the president will do a lot of talking, but he's not going to listen to Mitch McConnell or anyone in Congress. He's going to continue to bully the Congress until Republicans take a stand. And that's a tough spot for Republicans to be in. But as Mitch McConnell said, the country just repudiated the president and the policies of the left, and it's time for Republicans to stand up for what they say they believe.
Let me play for you a bit of sound from John Boehner, because I want to get your reaction to what he had to say yesterday. Let's play this.
This is a serious breach of our Constitution. It's a serious threat to our system of government. And frankly, we have limited options and limited abilities to deal with it directly. We've not made decisions about how we're going to proceed, but we are, in fact, going to proceed.
So what if, a lot of people read the tea leaves there and say, basically, he's saying our hands are tied, and we're going to move forward with this immigration deal in one way, shape, or form, regardless of the fact that we've been yelling and screaming about how unconstitutional it is. What do you say?
Well, John Boehner's right. The president has acted in an unconstitutional way, we believe an unlawful way, and every member of the Congress has sworn an oath to defend that Constitution. The House has all the tools they need to stop this reckless implementation of an amnesty bill. And the president's not reforming our immigration system. He's just giving legal status and work permits to people who will take American jobs. The Congress has the ability to fund all government operations, but not to fund the implementation of this amnesty. And that is a tool that the House has, and it's a tool that they must use in order to stop this president, and I think keep the credibility of the American people who just voted in an election to stop the president.
All right, so that would be the way that you would recommend going, to withhold the funding for Homeland Security that would allow this bill to move forward, correct?
Well, that's exactly right. The House doesn't have the ability to stop the president in the short term other than stop the funding. This is something that goes on all the time. I've seen a number of what they call appropriation bills or omnibus bills that have phrases in them that no funding shall be allowed for this particular cause that the Congress doesn't agree with. So it's not an unusual move to make at all. And until the Congress stops rolling over, Martha, this president, this isn't the first time he's done this. I mean, he has unlawfully appointed people to the Labor Relations Board that the courts have struck down. His Communication Commission has tried to regulate the Internet outside the law, and that's been struck down. And we know whether it's Obamacare waivers or a number of other things, the president's going to continue to go around Congress and break the law until the Congress takes a stand.
Well, you say, Congress needs to stop rolling over, and that you're pointing to Republicans in the House of Representatives. What's the takeaway message from the last election? Is it that the American people want to see some things get done? And they said in a pretty broad way that they wanted to see things get done. I think that's where the effort is centered right now. Mitch McConnell talks about, maybe pulling 10 to 15 Senate Democrats who want things to get back to normal and get back toward a political center. Do you agree that that's the way to go, or do you disagree with Mitch McConnell on that?
Well, Well, no, it'd be nice to have some bipartisan work. In fact, there's some bipartisan work that's gone into this omnibus spending bill that needs to be passed before next week. But unfortunately, as long as this president's in the White House, the expectation of Republicans and Democrats working together and the president signing a bill for the good of the country, every indication the president's given since the election is he's going to ignore what the people think. And Martha, we've evaluated a lot of the campaigns, and a lot of these candidates who won for the Senate, most of them campaigned against an executive amnesty and against Obamacare. And so the new members of Congress need to come in and try to carry out what they campaigned on.
All right, so are the votes there to do what you suggest, to eliminate the funding for Homeland Security that would support this amnesty bill, as you call it, and fund the rest of the government from December 11th on?
At the very least, Martha, the House needs to send a bill that funds the government to the Senate but disallows funding for this unlawful amnesty, and at least give the Senate a chance to debate, get these Democrats on record who have said that they are against what the president's done, and maybe even get a bill to the president's desk to see what he would do about it. And if he vetoes the funding of the government and shuts the government down or threatens to shut the government down, the Republicans will have to huddle again and see what they have to do in the best interest of the country. But it's not a good position for anyone in Congress to be in. But unfortunately, the president's going to continue to break the law on this and many other issues until Congress pushes back.
We'll see. Thank you very much, Jim DeMint. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Martha.